Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's me again, Jose Luis Solis, coming at you from Brooklyn, New York. It's been a while since we last spoke. As you guys can see, I kind of have a beard now, and it's cold out here in New York City, so I had to make sure that I got my beard going. So, but there's way more. There's a lot more changes. There's a lot more things that have changed in my life, and this beard is just like it's a symbol of it. But I have some news. I have some, I guess, knowledge. I have some more insight on my life, on what I've been going through the last couple of months. I know it's been a while, but I didn't want to make a video without being really truly inspired. Let me begin by saying thank you to everybody that's given me support and love over the internet. I now have friends in Vancouver. How you doing, Igloo Stick? To the sister Khadija, who's out in Vancouver, shows me mad love. I have a friend in London. How you doing, Aloea, in London? Um, to the brothers here in New York City who hold me down, man, who always help me lift myself when I'm down. My friends and family, everybody. Oh, the sister in Texas. How you doing, Sister Ruba in Texas? Sister Sana in Philadelphia. The brother Abdullah, who's always here in New York City holding me down. My brother Megdi, he's going to be featured in this video, brother Megdi. We call him Swagdi, because he's just all sorts of swagged out, the brother Megdi. Now, but let me begin by saying this video is going to contain some of my struggles, what I'm struggling with my family and the deen. So obviously, you guys have heard of my mother and my father, and my immediate family's completely happy for me, completely showing me tons of love and support, right? But now the news is getting out to my cousins and my extended family, who isn't necessarily so close to me, but everybody has an opinion. So let me begin with that. So it was my father's birthday like 2 weeks ago. So his brother, who knows me obviously since I'm like born. Me and he has a son that's my age, and him and his wife pretty much raised us all together as brothers. We always lived close, and we were first cousins, so we were brothers. Shout out to cousin Sergio out in Abu Dhabi, who's out there teaching, living the dream. What's up, cousin Sergio? I love you, bro. So he goes, "What's up with the beard?" And I was like, I'm a Muslim. He was like, "You're a what?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a Muslim." He was like, "Wait, what?" So he starts going like, "But I don't like what you're doing with your life." And I didn't even say anything. He was just like, "I don't like what you're doing with your life. I don't agree with this. I don't understand why you could do this." Now keep in mind, my uncle Prudenciano, that's his name. He's not the most religious of men. So I take it with a grain of salt, and I have absolute respect for him. So all you reverts out there, first and foremost, when you're dealing with the situation, and you will deal with the situation with people, have respect. Have respect, because you would hate for them to say, "Hey, it's because he's a Muslim, he's losing respect for me." No, 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 no. You have to have the utmost respect because they're your family and they're people close to you, and genuinely they're just concerned for you. Although they're misguided to what Islam is, you gotta have respect for them. So with that being said, my uncle starts and he's like, "Oh," so finally after he gets across like that he doesn't want me to blow anybody up, or doesn't want me to go crazy, or doesn't want me to marry 7 women. And I'm like, "Yo, none of that's gonna happen. I'm still Jose, and nothing changed. I just found God, and it was in the form of Islam, and I'm really happy." So after that, after his whole interrogation, and all of his concerns were voiced about me marrying a bunch of women and blowing myself up, I was like, he was like, "So what do you guys believe in?" I was like, "All right, well," I was like, "We believe in Jesus and Mary." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "So you guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's not too different from Christianity and Catholicism for when you know of it." And he was like, "So what are you saying?" And I was like, in my Quran it has proof of Jesus and Mary and Joseph and all the prophets that came before um, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. I'm sorry, astaghfirullah, peace be upon all of them. And I was just trying to explain to him. So I always have a Spanish translated version of the Quran in my house, so I grab it for situations such as this, and I show him, and I'm like, "You see, look, Jesus, Mary," and I just start going down the line. He's like, "Whoa." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Okay, cool." So he was kind of like, I don't agree with it, and I don't like your beard, which is pretty much what I got from the conversation with my uncle Blue, that he didn't like my beard. But I was like, it's okay, don't, it's my beard is my beard, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I was trying to explain that to him, but he was like, all right, as my Arabic friends would say, khalas, no more. So it went on. And then my cousin was like, yo, so you really changed your religion? And I was like, yeah. He's like, another common argument that people ask me, another common concern, it's not really an argument. He was like, this is for a girl, isn't it? And I was like, hell, I was like, nah, man, it's not about a girl. And he was like, don't lie to me. I was like, nah, I'm not lying. This is not about a girl. It has nothing to do with girls. Actually, it has nothing to do with girls. I completely, and I start telling him that, I don't drink no more. I don't go partying. I don't mess with girls anymore. He's like, wait, what? Girls? You don't mess with girls? And I'm like, nah. I was like, I try not to, and I try to fight it all off, Inshallah, I remain that way. And he was just like, so wait a second. It's not about a girl. It's not, And then he was like, so why'd you do it? I was like, honestly, it's about happiness. It started with discipline, and I found happiness, and then I found God. And he was like, wait a second. So, not about a girl. You don't mess with girls no more, and you're happy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so genuinely happy. And he was like, okay. He was like, so what do you do now? I'm like, on weekends I just go to the masjid and hang out, and brothers. And he was like, so wait a second, you mean to tell me that this isn't over going? I'm like, yeah, it's not, has nothing to do with that. After he got over it, he started to see, like, at first, to my reverts out there, at first you're gonna see that, like, our family members and our friends are kind of so closed-minded about Islam. They're really not. They're misguided. They really don't understand Islam and what it stands for. So just don't take their first statements as, like, as a weapon to hurt you. They're just their concerns, and they come across differently because they've been misguided. And so my cousin and me were having a conversation. He's like, so, what are you doing now? And I explained to him what I plan to do with my future and my plans. And he was like, well, you seem to have a different head on your shoulders. You seem to really be focused. And alhamdulillah, that's the way I stay. It's difficult. It's difficult to really, really stay focused on the deen and stay focused on everything in this life and in this dunya. And I was just explaining to him that, like, I have way too many things to do for me to fall off. And my cousin was just like, wow, he was genuinely happy for me. You could see the genuineness in his statement after we stopped speaking. He was like, wow. He's like, it seems like you're doing it for the right reasons, and I'm happy. He's like, I'm just happy it wasn't for a girl. I'm like, man, it's nothing like that. And you have to really, really, really explain to them that you're doing it for the correct reasons. And inshallah, everyone who reverts and converts does it for the right reasons, which is your heart, which is just trying to get close to God, and finding discipline, and finding happiness. And he was very, like, nice. He was very cool about it. He's like 30 years old. He understands what it's like to be a young man in this world. And he's like, I'm happy that you looked yourself in the face and were able to tell, excuse me, and were able to tell yourself that the way you were living wasn't the right way to live. And I was like, yeah, that's really what it was. And there we go. And then I was off. And then my aunt grabs me, and my aunt was a little tipsy at the time. And she was like, come here. And I was like, what? And I was like, I was like, you're next, huh? She's like, yeah, come here, sit down. And I was like, all right. So I sat down, and she was like, I don't care that you're a different religion. I was like, all right, thank you. And she's like, you're still Jose. I still love you. I still change your diapers. She's like, but don't go marry many women. I was like, I don't want to marry many women. Don't worry about that. She was like, okay, good. She's like, understand that it's not a problem. She's like, I'm happy for you. Just handle your business. And I was like, cool, sweet, nice, sweet, smooth, to the point. She didn't really have much to say. But one thing I want to tell my reverts out there, to not to put so much, don't take offense to what they say, for two reasons. One, I've said it before, you don't want to give them fuel to their negativity of Islam, right? You don't want to give them fuel to that. Because a lot of the times it's a lot of negative input that they have in their ear, because of the media or because of friends. And, we live in New York City, we live in the United States of America, where right now Islam it doesn't have the best light. That's through no fault of your friends or family. So don't take what they say as an offense. And two, they're doing it genuinely because they're concerned about you. You know, because of all the negativity that they hear, because of everything that they hear from their friends and family of their own. It's just misguided concerns. But you make sure to give dawah through your character. Show them through your character that this has nothing to do with violence or hate. This has everything to do with love. This has everything to do with discipline. This has everything to do with happiness. And make it's easier for you, and make that for each other. Make that for everybody outside of the United States of America. We all know what's going on in Palestine and Syria, and the brothers and sisters out there suffering. But that's a whole nother segment. I don't want to diverge from what I'm saying. So let me get back to my family now. All right. So outside of their concerns, there's a whole nother situation that happens, right? So I'm sitting there, and like everyone's around my table here. This is like my house, my living room. Oh yeah, that's the Christmas tree because everyone celebrates Christmas. So right there, bang, right. So everyone's sitting here and around the table, and I'm all the way at the far end by the window. And at first, I didn't know how to really handle it because everybody was sitting here drinking and like laughing and partying. Obviously, I love to laugh and party, but the whole drinking part, I was like, oh man, what do I do? Like, dang. And I'm not gonna lie, like I almost had a drink because it was my father's birthday. It was my friends and my family, like closest people that knew me since I was in diapers, and like it's just natural for us. Oh yeah, there goes the picture of the Last Supper. This is just my house. This is my home, and like I'm so like I was like, man, I feel weird. I was like, man, this is my home, but like I don't wanna like sit so close and then have a drink. Then I was like, man, but what's a drink? Like really, what's just a drink? In my head, I was like, I'll have a drink. I'll have a glass of wine. I'll have a glass of, I'll have a beer. In my head, I was like, yo, and it was, I was like, no, chill, I can't. I was like, there's no point. I was like, why? I was like, I don't want to leave myself open to future thinking like that, where I'm in another situation where isn't around my family, and I'm just like, let me have a drink. I had to be real strong, and I put up an Instagram, and I was like, man, this is the toughest thing to do. This is difficult because I really, really felt not left out, almost like I was missing a genuine part of what it is to be part of my family. A big part of my family is drinking and sharing good times. Is good times and drinking just go hand in hand? And I was like, damn, I'm missing out. And then it was just like, nah, I'm really not. In all of the conversations with my family, my cousin, my aunt, and my uncle, they're happy for me. They're concerned, but they're happy for me. And I didn't want it for like an hour and a half. I was talking to everybody, and then all of a sudden for them to be like, "Oh, this nigga, he's drinking. Look at this guy. Like he's gonna drink. He's no different." Like, and I don't want to do that either. I don't wanna look like that. And again, it's just part of the struggles. It's just part of the struggle, and we all have our struggles, man. Whether it's with prayer, whether it's with family, or whether it's with anything, everybody struggles. If you can see yourself in the mirror, you struggle. Don't sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't got struggles, man." You got struggles, and he who does not think that he has struggles, you're lying to yourself. But it's just the struggle, what it is to be in this dunya, man. It's just a constant like fighting off the fitna, and it's funny. It's funny how like I'm in my home and like my family, and I'm still struggling, and so you're really never ever really safe. The struggle's always gonna be there, and don't fault the people that fall. Everybody falls. Falling is part of being human. Repent if you fall, pray if you fall. Genuinely feel bad if you fall, but do your best not to fall. So I hope that everybody got a good take of me, and this video is about to end. And jazakallah khair for everybody, for all my friends and all the people, my new friends, everyone that shows me love on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, the links in me below. Assalamu alaikum.